So my name is Uroš Rajaković. I'm coming from Serbia. I'm psychologist and psychotherapist, and most important, logosynthesis practitioner. I'm on my way to become logosynthesis master practitioner, but I'm not in rush, so there is still space for me to grow. My presentation tonight is not too self-promoted. My idea was to promote how I work, but also to inspire you to see that if I can do it, you certainly can do it. And with the help of logosynthesis, it will become possible. So we came to this definition, and we will go deeper into it. Few steps further. So theory and ideas behind this. Chronic illness with anxiety and emotional fatigue, often being with subtle signals, which can be tension, shutdown, and quiet no from the body. For those in helping roles like we are, caregivers, educators, therapists, and rescuers, these signals are frequently ignored in service of others. From this statement, you can see that my approach to this presentation will be not only from client's view, not only from therapist view, but I will change these positions. Working with logosynthesis, you will learn, or you already did, that it's really important to help others, but it's not good enough if we don't take care for ourselves. Okay. Okay, so this is going in wrong direction. What I was inspired by also several ideas from few authors. So psychoneuroimmunology shows that beliefs and stress responses directly affect immune functions and disease prognosis. On the other hand, epigenetics shows that emphasize that environment and perception, not genes alone, regulate cellular behavior. So sometimes, or I would say more than sometimes, almost always, genes are just something which is given, but on ourselves and from our environment, there will be trigger or not. Trauma theory says that highlights how unresolved experiences remain frozen in the body, manifesting as symptoms. So that is what we will see in our offices. We will get clients with the symptoms. So behind them, we will work on frozen energy in the body, in the mind, in the something else, which they will present. And finally, logosynthesis provides a structured method to identify and dissolve frozen energy through precise sentences. We have it 3+1, restoring flow and presence. Body signals are truth, not inconveniences, even that some professionals like medical doctors, when they do not have any hypothesis what is going on with their patients, they will put it on label on it that it's not relevant anymore, but maybe for specific client, for specific human being, it is relevant. Frozen energy sustains suffering and drains helpers. So I'm speaking from this other chair. Logosynthesis sentences realize this energy with precision. Release, sorry. Presence and antidote to over-identification. My own journey began in 2011 when I started to run counseling center for people with liver diseases. Not so much after it, I start working with other patients, so people with other kind of diagnoses like cancer, inflammatory bowel disease, diabetes, lymphoma, and chronic leukemia, which I'm working with them so far. So I never had a pause until now. So in our public sector, so in public hospitals, when they can find support, medical support, where they can find the right therapy for their symptoms, mainly body symptoms. So they will be treated, but their mental health will be left aside. There are some positive stories. There are some colleagues who are working in clinical field and health psychology who are dedicated to their jobs. So, but they are in minority because there is no enough professionals, especially not enough psychotherapists. And as we are aware, not enough people who are thinking in this way, who will use techniques which are coming from energetic fields or energetic approaches. In these encounters, I saw how illness is not only medical but existential. For love and for war, we need two sides. And also, when we are talking about human beings, they are shaped by parents. So again, two sides. And if they are living more or less peacefully, then we'll get peace. And when it's not like that, for some of those people who are raised in a not good manner, it can become crisis or diagnosis. Cancer patient, which I worked with, she had a fear of death, and that was presented in frozen image of her father's early passing. So he passed away during car accident, and many years ago she came to me and we worked on many topics, but this topic was hidden for her and for myself. Hopefully logosynthesis helped her to reclaim her own timeline. And that is a technique which I learned in after basic seminar. So in one of advanced seminars, it bring a new chapter in her life. So and at that time also she in a way finished with cancer. So she moved from that perspective, from perspective of cancer patient. Another client with inflammatory bowel disease, young man, he realized his symptoms are mirrored unresolved family conflicts, especially with his mother, and also realizing frozen energy allowed him to reconnect with his body. And what was the situation? So in the middle of session, he was speaking about event which happened recently when he was he was in his 30s, on a regular checkup with the gastroenterologist. He was walking fastly during the corridor in the hospital, and his mother trying to keep in step to follow him, and he was in rush. And when she said several times, "Please stop, I cannot follow you, you're going too fast," he responded, "Well, you did it also to me, so now it's time that I can give it back in a revenge manner." And what was it behind story? He was 9 years old, and they were together in a shopping mall. They were sitting in a restaurant, and she was forcing him to eat. He wasn't feeling angry for the start, and he tried to push her back. So, "I cannot eat anymore, it's enough." But she insisted. Finally, he said, I really cannot eat, I cannot breathe anymore." And her response was that she stood up and left him alone. And so that small boy tried to find his mother for next 2 hours desperately. And after he finally find her, next morning he got stomach pains and problems. So he had multiply problems, and in only few days he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. R, or helpless trauma. So we are aware that professionals often carry the burden of others who are suffering, and we can speak now about burnout and also about vicarious trauma, which is trauma who are uh, passed from clients and from people who are suffering and who went to trauma to helpers who are providing them with support. Logosynthesis is not only support for patients, but also for those who are giving and support others. So in these cases, I briefly showed that somatic markers theory, which talks about emotions and bodily states, guide decision making and health. They also reflect systematic perspective, which illnesses is embedded in family narratives and collective trauma. Logosynthesis acts as corrective emotional experience, dissolving frozen images and enabling new meaning. In another theory about how people are reacting when they facing to stress situations. So we have 5 examples or even steps. So first will be denial of condition. Others cannot recognize that illness is real. So even when someone says, "I have stomach problems, I have pain in my tummy," they will say, it's in your head, and or you look fine. These sentences is toxic, pretty toxic to people who are fragile and people who are facing with any kind of somatic problems are fragile, and they don't need such approach, obviously. Minimizing of suffering, it's another level, subtle level. Symptoms are acknowledged but downplayed. So phrase will be, everyone gets tired sometimes. So we are not seeing person as unique. We are comparing to others. And here we can find, and in others of these steps, we can find that people who are helpers actually try to psychologically protect themselves. So instead of fear to expose or to feel and to express that they are sad or afraid, they will express anger, for example. Third step is blame and moral judgment. Illness is sin as the patient's is seen as the patient's fault. So if you are better, you wouldn't be sick. Fourth, social exclusion. Patient is treated as less capable or written off, being excluded from work, social roles, or family decisions, sorry. Fifth, internalized invalidation. Patient adopts society's dismissive view, feeling worthless, guilty, on or underserving of care. So when people are patient turning against themselves. One example from my office. So there was a young girl, pretty young, at that time, and that was 10 years ago. She had 23 years. She was 23 years old. She was a daughter of patient or daughter of mother who has who were diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and at that time she wasn't able to take care of herself. So her daughter was forced to do it. Well, she accepted. When she came to my office recently, her grandmother died, which was biggest support for two of them, for her as a child and young adult, and for her mother as a patient. And then after her grandma died, so whole world fallen on her head. So everything was turned upside down, and she wasn't aware. She wasn't aware of her capabilities. She wasn't ready to make decisions, or actually, she believed that she is not capable to make decisions. So her mother was the main topic, but also her father, who left them 10 years before that, even 15 years before. So he wasn't able to deal with chronic disease in their family, and they were separate but not officially divorced, which was also one of the indicators of psychological matrix. And she also need to take care about some property questionable things, like they were living in big apartment, and now they were forced to change that apartment, to sell it and to find more smaller one, obviously, and to which is more acceptable for people, for her mother, because she already was in wheelchair. So we came to, with Logosynthesis, our work improved and become not only better, but at the same time faster. So I got something to uh, uh, um, some tool which helped me to improve our work. So we identify that frozen images. One of them was her father. He called her son. So she had that image of herself. She was dressed up as a boy. Her haircut was a short one as a boy. And uh, every time when he will meet her, so it was once or twice a week, she will call her son, so my son. We work on that image. Other one was pressure or of caregiving and burden of responsibility. What also came was image from her kindergarten uh, when I mean her father and she will met in most cases. So she was able to bring all the details, like it was in a present moment. How old was she? So it was 4 or 5 years old. She had the blue sweater and yellow pants, and she describing her surrounding and smells and everything. So we took that, and uh, it after the first, second, and third sentence, so like after a logosynthesis sentences protocol, um, she was peaceful, so uh, he wasn't irritated anymore, and that image, like she said at that time, she was ready to pull in drawer. So energy was dissolved and bound in parental roles as internalized prohibitions. We came from to shift from I must to I choose. Um, um, and little spoiler alert, which I already gave you. So seeing her after quite a time, several years after, so in her 30s, I found out that she moved to another apartment, that she succeeded to uh, find a right solution for her mother. So 24/7 medical care in um, a place for elderly people uh, with access to medical doctors and everything what she needs. And she will visit her every twice a week, which was uh, good enough for both of them. Um, Also, she was able to start and to stay in healthy relationship with her boyfriend before that. What also significant, she been to two relationship. One of them was with the boyfriend who was on long distance, so that was a long distance relationship, and let's say that he was not able to connect, and he was avoiding a type. And other one, he wasn't avoiding, by one contrary, even if so that was also a long distance relationship, but in this case she found out that that second guy cheated her, so that was her trigger to see me again. So after that breakup, and that took only few sessions with logosynthesis. I assume that with any other kind of psychotherapy approach, it took more than twice sessions, and we will speak about months, not in sessions. Movement from self-blame towards clarity and constructive action. Logosynthesis helps caregivers realize frozen energy tied to family roles and trauma. By hearing the body's truth, clients move from burden to presence, from obligation to choice. What we had denial, so frozen image of not being believed. From minimization, frozen belief, my suffering doesn't matter. From blame to frozen judgment, I'm guilty. From exclusion, which is frozen role, I am useless. In internalization, which is frozen identity, in phrase I am my illness. Then logosynthesis offers a way to dissolve these frozen structures and restoring clarity and vitality. I'm opening floor to you with these 3 questions. You can, whoever wants, and whichever of these questions you can take. So far, is any of you wants to speak? So what signals from your body have you ignored in service of others? I believe that I have also a few examples in last 15 years working with clients, mostly in first part of my career, probably in first 5 years. How do beliefs shape your experience of health, illness, or helping? Where might frozen images still influence your daily life? What can you say? What would you like to share?